All right, all praise, glory, and honor is most certainly due to the Most High, the God of the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Peace to you in the name of God, Jesus. I count it truly a blessing each and every single time that I can come before to preach the word of God, and never do I count it as a light thing to do so. All right, brothers and sisters, I want to get right into today's topic, and it is fitting when you look at what's going on in the country today, specifically with the president and the 25th Amendment being proposed and being that idea being rejected. We should understand that it's the Lord who sets up kings, and it's the Lord who pulls kings down. And so we should understand the Lord is in control. Let's go to Psalms, the 75th division. We're in Psalm 75, and we want to pick it up at verse 6. Psalm 75 and verse 6 reads as follows. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But God is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. You see that example with the children of Israel and their kings, how he set up Saul, but then Saul didn't do what he was supposed to do, and therefore he was removed, and then David was in his place. You see that consistently with the kings of Israel. Peace to you, Brother Joseph. All right, so let's go to Daniel, the 2nd chapter, because here we see something that Daniel says in regard to this. This is Daniel, the 2nd chapter, and verse 19, because the king of Babylon, even in his power, you know, he was troubled when he had a dream, and he had to go to the one who had a connection with the true source of power. So he had to go to the Israelite Daniel. He was of Judah, and he had to ask him for interpretation, and then Daniel had to let him know something. This is Daniel 2 and verse 19. It says, then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of the God of Israel, God forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his, and he changeth the times and the seasons. Listen to this. It says, he removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. So he is the one that sets up kings, and he is the one that removes kings. You understand? So he's ultimately in control. Now let's go to we're going to stay in Daniel. We want to go to Daniel, the 4th chapter, and pick it up at verse 23, because here we see, even in Babylon was a mighty kingdom. Okay, but we see here that, you know, this Nebuchadnezzar, he got a little beside himself, you know, and sometimes that's easy to do. We can look at what position we're in, you know, it could be a decent position, and we can say, yes, because of me. When a lot of times we discount what the Most High has done in allowing you to be in a particular position. Peace to you, Sister Ruth. It's good to see you there. So now this is Daniel, the 4th chapter, and verse 23. It says, and whereas the king saw a watcher and an holy one coming down from heaven, and saying, hew the tree down and destroy it, yet leave the stump of the roots thereof in the earth, even with the band of iron and brass, and the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beast of the field, till 7 times pass over him. Verse 24 reads, this is the interpretation, O king. And this is the decree of the Most High, which has come upon my Lord the king. So now he has to tell this king what's about to happen to him. He says that they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. And they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and they shall wet thee with the dew of heaven. And 7 times shall pass over thee. That's 7 years. Till thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. See, you need to understand, Nebuchadnezzar, who is truly in power. Yeah, you're a king, but there's one above you that you need to acknowledge. And he says, and you're going to be with the beast of the field. Now let's pick it up at let's keep reading. Actually, let's pick it up at verse 26. It says, and whereas they commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots, that thy kingdom shall be sure unto thee. After that thou shalt have known that the heavens do rule. Wherefore, O king, let my counsel be acceptable unto thee. and break off thy sins by righteousness, and thine iniquities by showing mercy to the poor, if it may be a lengthening of thy tranquility. Verse 28, all this came upon the king Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? So he's looking at it as he's totally in control, but not realizing that, hold on. Number one, it's one higher than you, even the God of heaven. You realize you had to go to Nebuchadnezzar, had to go to Daniel for him to find out from the Most High what your dream was about. We read another place where he calls Nebuchadnezzar my servant. He used him to execute judgment upon Israel. See, sometimes things are bigger than yourself, even like Cyrus, who he used to do what? To allow the children of Israel to go back after the Babylonian invasion and captivity. Peace to your sister, K. Bell. So it says, the king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? Verse 31. While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken. The kingdom is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, till thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. So who's ever ruling at the time, understand that the Lord allowed it to take place. The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagles' feathers, and his nails like birds' claws. And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me, and I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that liveth forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven, and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay his hand, or say unto him, what doest thou? Can't question him. It says, at the same time my reason returned unto me, and for the glory of my kingdom, mine honor and brightness returned unto me, and my counselors and my lords sought unto me, and I was established in my kingdom, and excellent majesty was added unto me. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, all whose works are truth, and his ways judgment, and those that walk in pride he is able to abase. Even the highest amongst men he is able to bring down low, because he is in control. Let's go to one more place. Colossians, the 1st chapter. See, you can get beside yourself thinking you're in a position, not realizing that you're but dust, and that you were allowed to be in a certain position by the Most High. Let's pick it up in Colossians, the 1st chapter. Colossians 1, and we'll pick it up at verse 12. It says, giving thanks unto the Father, which hath made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, who hath delivered us from the power of darkness, and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins. So this is what we've gained through Christ, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. He's the first begotten of the dead. Jesus Christ, the first fruits of the Christ at his coming. For by him, now listen to this, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible. Now he's created all things. He created the world, it tells us in Hebrews 1. He created the heaven and the earth. But it says also, again, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. So we should understand that amongst men, even the kings that raise up out of the earth, even the kingdoms that come forth, he is in control. And he allows those to rule. And with that, brothers and sisters, I want to remind you that he will raise up and he will bring down. I want to remind you that we at the Household of Faith meet every Sabbath at 5925 West 25th Avenue in Gary, Indiana at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. We live stream right here on the Israel Teach YouTube channel, as well as at www.israelteach.org. If you've been edified through the ministry and would like to leave a donation, you can do so on our website. Again, www.israelteach.org. 100% of the proceeds go to the work of the ministry. We also have Bible study every Wednesday night on Zoom at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the personal meeting ID number is 845-7108-8849. Again, our Wednesday night Bible study on Zoom that we have at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. The personal meeting ID number is 845-7108-8849. We also have a Bible study every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's a question and answer. So if you have questions in the Bible, bring your questions, and Lord willing, we'll answer them according to what thus saith the Lord. And the personal meeting ID number is 602-961-1318. Again, that number is 602-961-1318. And finally, brothers and sisters, there are books that I've written that are available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Into Egypt Begin with Ships, The Pagan Origins of Christian Holidays, Hell Like War, Feet Like Burned Brass, Killing Black Innocents, For Then Shall Be Great Tribulation, and In Defense of Biblical Polygyny. All those books are available. And with that, brothers and sisters, it's always my prayer that you were edified.